Hello guys and welcome back to my channel for another episode of my Pentagon challenge. We are just about to complete our second season in the save in the top flight of football in Uruguay. We've had a very good season. We've been in the hunt in the closing stage to potentially make the playoff. Have we made it? No. But let's get into the final episode of this season. So guys, disappointingly, this is how we are looking towards the end of the season. In the closing stage, Penarol have managed to win it, winning their last 5 games, absolutely smashing their way through. We are currently in third. We could potentially finish second, but fingers crossed we can finish second, and maybe, you never know, some different jobs may well appear. If we go into the overall table, we are still currently 5th. We are 1 point behind Boston River, who are in 4th. I would love to finish inside that top 4, if at all possible. But that all depends on how we get on in today's game. So, the last time you guys were with us was against Penarol. We lost 2-1, conceding that late penalty, which really stuck in me. That was really frustrating. We then put in a run of 3 good victories here. As you can see, nice victory here, 3-2, Jonathan Dos Santos and Mauricio Alonso on the score sheet again. Following that, we took on Defensor Sporting, and we managed to beat them 3-2 as well. It looked like they'd equalised in the 90th minute. Robert Urgas with the 90th minute goal for Defensor, pulling it back to 2-2. But Jonathan Dos Santos, literally basically from kickoff, just bulldozed his way through and completed his hat-trick. I'm just going to show you this goal, as it was a very nice hat-trick from him. First goal in the 69th, then the 72nd, and then obviously popping up with that third in the 91st minute. So this is basically from our kickoff. Jorge in Zabalos threads it into Dos Santos into the penalty area, beats the goalkeeper low down. Very nice finish and very nice hat-trick for him. Then this is where it kind of faltered for us. So we were playing River Plate here. As you can see by the information on the side, we went a goal down inside 7 minutes. Dennis Gomez scored an own goal. We then went 2 goals down, thanks to Luis Urti. And then, unfortunately, 2 minutes later, 22 minutes into the game, we went 3 goals down. Mauricio Daluz getting that one. And then we had to try and fight back. Ontiverio got a goal back. Jonathan Dos Santos pulled one back before half-time. In the second half, Janino Roca managed to pull it 3-3 almost on the hour mark, but then we just could not break River Plate down any further. It was devastating for us, actually, to be perfectly honest, guys. I was really disappointed that we couldn't find that all-important fourth, which would have left today's episode up in the air. We could have maybe done it depending on results, but anyway, today we take on these boys, Montevideo City Talk. They are, again, another club that are better than we are. But obviously, in terms of the table, we need to try and get a job done. And hopefully, we can come out on top of the as high up as we can possibly come here with Nacional and overtaking them. Nacional take on Defensor Sporting, so it's not an easy game whatsoever. Penarol would have taken on Liverpool FC, the 4th place team. So again, it wouldn't have been the easiest one, but alas, things do not go our way this time. I'm just going to fire through these OIs quickly, guys. It does make a massive difference, especially in the divisions where we are right now. So we will move everybody onto their weaker foots as much as humanly possible, especially for the attacking players and the midfielders. Put them all on their weaker foots, and then we sort of get into it. So, okay, he is right-footed. So he is their main playmaker. So we're going to tight mark and press him. We're also going to hit him hard. We're going to tight mark the central attacking midfielder. We're going to tight mark the striker. We're going to press the attacking midfield right, and we're going to press the attacking midfield left. We're also going to hit those boys pretty hard as well. So that is it for the OIs. If we get into the team selection, we've got a couple of issues at the moment. Jonathan Dos Santos has got an injury, so I'm not going to risk him for the final game of the season. So Fernandez is going to come in up top. the Argentine. He doesn't really get a good look in, unfortunately, for him, mainly predominantly because he's a winger, and Juninho Roca and some of the other boys have been keeping him out. Actually, no, Sigales, you're playing. Sigales is going to play instead. We're going to play a target man. So we're going to go Israel in goal, Zeballos, Limos, Costa, Pereira, Asaib, Gjan, Ontivero, Alaya, Juninho Roca, and Sigales up top for this final game of this season. So we will submit that. We'll move forward and we will get into the game. Obviously, something that I do need to think about is the next steps. Are we going to stay at Central Espanol for another season and potentially try and fight our way through into the top? Oh, Elias got a knock straight away. Be interesting to see if we could stay here and maybe force our way into the championship playoff, or do other clubs in Uruguay come calling, or do we make a move to somewhere outside of Uruguay? I'm mainly looking at Brazil or Argentina, to be perfectly honest. I think they are better bets for us, but we shall have to see. We had that corner there. Not a lot happened. There's no pressing going on here. The team are just ignoring all instructions, which is great. Into their playmaker, who sprays it across. Pereira gets an absolute lump on it. Goalkeeper's got it. He's outside his area here. Juninho Roca, are you going to have a bang from there? No, you're not. The Brazilian runs down the left-hand side then. Cross comes over. Ontivero can't get on the end of it. Rodriguez heads that one clear. Into their one striker. Out to Guzman on the right-hand side. Very end-to-end football for stuff in Uruguay, to be perfectly honest. Things are usually settled by just a goal. Oh. The fact that that has gone in, it just makes me sad. It really, really does. Guzman with the ball across. He's got two players on him. Our right backs, man. Our right backs are actually decent. I don't understand why we can see so many goals from that position. The cross coming over from the right, and then it's either a header or someone gets in at that far post. It's very frustrating, and it is something that I think I'm going to need to take a look at moving forward. We're putting the pressure on here, but one long ball up the top. Costa intercepts nicely. Gan into Juninho Roca on the ball then. Here comes the Brazilian. He really does make us tick. We were so lucky to pick him up last season and obviously keep his services for this season. That is an awful bit of goalkeeping. If we cannot put the ball past this numpty, I do not know what we can do, guys, to be perfectly frank with you. Sigales loses out on that header. Ontivero picks up the ball into the penalty area. Can he do something with it? Crosses into the marker. Picks up the loose ball, though, and the second phase is on Lemos. Nope. Okay, highlight over. Disappointing end to the season. I'm going to say I'm far from pleased. Hopefully that has motivated the boys. Give them a little bit of a kick up the backside. And fingers crossed they can maybe get a goal. I don't know. Things in Uruguay don't really happen by more than 1 goal margins. So it'd be interesting to see if we could get 2 goals here. Ontivero knocks it down. Back to Jean. Zeballos. Obviously the man who we picked up from Defensor Sporting halfway through the season. Ontivero on the ball and driving forward. They've got so many bodies back. Juninho Roca goes against his man. Safe hands this time from the goalkeeper. Firmaren? Yeah, let's go with that. He kicks it long. Aside wins that header. Knocks it down to Guzman on the right-hand side. Does the cross come over again? It does. And they basically score the exact same goal, but with a slightly different issue with the finish. That's very irritating, isn't it? 2-0 down against a team that are wildly poor. Penarol drawing as well. So throw the ball into Alonso, who has the ball now. I'm just going to caution to the wind. Sigales pulls one back. That is his second goal of the season. I've just set us to very attacking with a hope to try and get back into this game. Nice header from Sigalas there to pull one back. But I think it may just be a little bit of too little too late, to be perfectly honest. It's going to finish the season with a whimper by the looks of things. Rodriguez whips this one in. Goalkeeper doesn't get really anywhere near that. And that is the highlight over. Looks like we've got Montevideo struggling in terms of fitness. So let's bring on Fernandez. We'll switch some of these players around. Juninho Roca can go in at that attacking midfield spot. Move some of the players around. Jean also tired, but he is the man with the assist in the centre of the park. Let's see what happens with this highlight. And then we may well take a look at making some changes ourselves. Actually, it's popped up with the change that I would have made. So we will just let the assistant do this one. Israel gets the ball then. Pings it out to Fernandez on this left-hand side. Ball over the top. Alonso, he's got lots of time. Hits it straight at the goalkeeper. Goes behind for a corner. Jonathan George is on. Limos in the penalty area again. Hits that one. It's another save from the goalkeeper. It's another shot. It's another shot on target. But we cannot beat these goalkeepers. And it's really, really starting to become an issue. If you look at that, I think it just said we had 11 shots on target and we've scored once. You'd like to think that maybe with Jonathan Dos Santos up top, we could have maybe had a little bit more luck there. But we almost concede yet another cross coming across from the left-hand side, as the visitors here are just knocking it around comfortably between them, aren't they? Rodriguez on the corner for the visitors. It's just absolute pinball. Absolute pinball and shambles. And they've managed to knock in. They've managed to knock in another one. And we are going to finish this season with a disappointing loss at home. Having been the better side, in my opinion. 16 shots, 11 on target. Disappointing end to what has been a very good season. I'm going to say unlucky to the boys, but I don't really mean that. We end the season then losing to City Talk, who are the team below us, but they're very much below us in terms of the overall table. Rodriguez bids farewell. He was pretty good. He was pretty good. Rodriguez. Okay, guys, so that is the season over. What I am going to do is I'm going to skip forward a little bit until we find out who has won the division, and then I'll give you a little bit of a chat as to what we feel we are going to do next, guys. So I'll be back for that in just a few seconds. So, guys, we are slightly further advanced, and I wanted to bring this to your attention. Obviously, we have had the club vision for next season come in. The board would like to discuss the club's long-term vision and outline their initial expectations for both the remainder of the season and the years ahead. So, what do they want us to do? Strive to make progress on and off the pitch is their only piece of club culture. They want us to work within the wage budget, repair financial damage, and only finish mid-table, which is really disappointing considering how we have finished the season this year. I'm just going to accept it. They just want us to be an established team, and I want more. I really do want more. So just moving through these things here, I think I'm going to have to start looking elsewhere, guys. Obviously, we are just about to leave October. I am going to advance just a little bit more until we find out who is the new champion of Uruguay, as I said. But getting that club vision in has really made me feel like it is time to move to a different club. But only time will tell in that one. I'll be back once they've crowned a champion in just a few seconds. So then, guys, we are back. The season has been determined, and this is what is happening in Uruguay right now. Peñarol have been crowned champions for the second season running in this save. Villa Teresa, Juventud, and Carrero Largo have all been relegated, which is just absolutely baffling to me, considering 3 teams finished below Villa Teresa and Juventud in the table. As you can see here, Progreso, Colonia, and Wanderers all below in terms of the points that they've managed to pick up this season. So, in terms of the breakdown, guys, Penarol managed to beat Liverpool FC, the winner of the closing stage versus the winner of the opening stage. Penarol managed to win that 2-1. Looking at things here, Liverpool FC took the lead. Acuna pulled them level, Penarol level just before half-time, and then missed a penalty in the 83rd minute, and then scored the decisive winner. Leoni, Brazilian box-to-box midfielder, looks relatively solid from what I can tell, scoring the winner on the 80th minute here. Obviously, Penarol are probably the best team in the division. And then we go into the playoffs, right? And Deportivo Maldonado managed to beat Villarreal on penalties. So Deportivo managed to stay up and Villarreal get relegated. And that is because of this. So it looks like the bottom two teams in the average points table go down, and then the teams in 13th and 14th have a playoff. I assume the playoff was because they were level on average points. Interesting. So that is their average points. If you have one very good season, you can almost save it. Interesting. Okay, so as you can see here, we managed to finish third in the average points table behind Penarol and Liverpool FC, the two teams that were at the top of the tree in Uruguayan football this season. So I think, all in all, we've had a very, very good year. I will say, though, guys, if we go over to the staff section, we go into the job center, you can see I've started applying for some jobs. There's a job down in Mexico at Pumas, which I'd absolutely love. I think that'd be a very interesting challenge. I've also applied for a couple of jobs in Argentina and a couple of jobs in Brazil. The one that I really, really want, but I am assuming I'm not going to get, this job. If the Vélez job happened to be, I would basically feel that this would be the club that I would take to the Libertadores final. They have unbelievable facilities. They bring through unbelievable players. As you can see here, if you look at their facilities, superb youth facilities, great training facilities, good academy coaching, and exceptional youth recruitment. They are one of the best teams for producing youngsters in Argentina, and they currently find themselves in 13th, which is way, way, way off where they should be. But they're just outside the Copa Sudamerica places. So it's a very interesting one. Should we be able to take over there? But that is a question for next time, guys. If you are enjoying this series, don't forget to drop a like on it. It really does help me out, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do subscribe, ring that bell for notifications so you know when I upload. I'll be back with another episode of this Pentagon challenge very, very soon. And maybe, just maybe, we have a new club.